Hi, so this week is one of my favorite topics. I say that every single week, right? But this is Computer History Week. And this is the week we get to look back at where we started and move forward and think about where we might go. So we're going to start with counting on your fingers, because that was kind of the first computer. And we're going to end with quantum computers, which are just spectacular. So why do I have this picture behind me? This is kind of an interesting picture. Do you know what they're called? Okay, not women. I get that, they are women. But back in the day, these were computers. These ladies were known as computers. So what is that all about? Well, we'll find out. So let's jump over to a screen share so I can show you what we've got on deck. But first, the name of this chapter is the ICT industry. And what the heck is ICT? If you ever want to know something, just ask Google. What does ICT stand for? It's the abbreviation for Information Communication Technology. And that's actually kind of how the internet started. It was a way to communicate information. It was the technology to communicate that. So information communication technology. And we're going to look, at least in the notes and the resources for this week, very specifically at the history, but in the chapter, it goes into careers, it goes into several other things. So the chapter is a really good chapter on this. So coming down here on our stroll through memory lane, and I was going to make a whole video that kind of talked through this, but there's so many videos to watch that it would be kind of a weird video within a video within a video sort of scenario. So what I did instead is I gave you my slides, computer history, and these are the different topics that we're going to talk about in this slideshow. And there's a ton of slides. I don't even know how many. Let's look and see how many. 77 slides. Don't let that freak you out, okay? And so we're going to start off with why computer science. And what you'll notice is, like I said, there's lots of videos embedded. Don't just slide through. You should probably plan on, like, I don't know, probably an hour or an hour and a half to go through all of this. But we're going to start off looking at what computer science is all about, and then the quest to calculate. And some of these videos in this section are just so much fun because they go way back, but you first have to understand what an algorithm is. And like I said, we're going to look at fingers. There's a binary hand dance. I might actually give extra credit if somebody could do the binary hand dance and video themselves, or have somebody video them doing the binary hand dance. That might be worth some extra credit. It's really hard. Anyhow, just work your way through. So we're going to go through the different generations of computers. So like you've probably heard, like a first generation computer, a fourth generation computer. What does that all mean? So a basic understanding of quantum computers. I don't even know if it's possible to have a basic understanding, but this video makes it easy. And then this video is one of those 5 levels videos that makes it super easy, because if they can explain it to a little kid, I can probably understand it. Now, this is interesting. We actually saw the IBM quantum computer, and we were able to talk to this guy who's a very interesting guy. And he is a quantum computer programmer. And so he works with education. And so we were sitting there talking to him, and this is what it looked like. These are pictures I actually took there. That's my husband taking a look at it from the back, at the back side of it. So somebody asked him, like, what does a quantum computer do? He started answering, and I took a minute and I said, hey, do you mind if I record this for my class? And so this video is just taken on my phone, and it was really noisy in the, lots of people were walking around and making lots of noise, but I think you can still hear. Okay, I think you can hear well enough that he has some very interesting answers to what a quantum computer is all about. So definitely take some time, go through this whole slideshow, because I think you'll find it very interesting. I think it'll give us a lot to talk about next week in Zoom for sure. Now, the next thing, last week I gave a sneak peek. This week I just pretty much copied it over and did a little bit of editing. This week your job's to watch a movie. That's not hard, right? Not any movie though. So I have a list of movies that you can pick from, as you can see down here. And I just added this one. So you probably didn't see the coded bias last week if you look at the sneak peek, mostly because I just watched it like a couple of days ago. And it was really interesting. It kind of has to do with artificial intelligence and facial recognition software. So a little biometric stuff going on there. It has to do with racial bias and profiling. It's just really interesting. And I don't know what her level is, but I think she's a graduate student at MIT and she found something. And so the movie goes into some of the details. It's a documentary. Anyhow, that's coded bias. But here's what your assignment is. There's 3 pages on here. I broke it in: movie review assignment, movie review examples, and movie review grade rubric. Okay, and that's basically what I say here. There's 3 pages. If you find any links that are dead or not working, please let me know. Your main goal is to prove to me that you watched one of these movies and that you got the big ideas out of the movie. You have a lot of creativity in how to do this. Some people just write a paper, which is sort of boring, but I guess you could do that. Some people do slideshows. A lot of people make videos and kind of talk their way through the different criteria with examples from the movie that they watch. If you go to the examples page, some people, when we were meeting on campus, would actually make like physical representations of some of the machines that were in some of the movies. It was really interesting. Anyhow, that's what the examples page is for, give you some ideas. But what I'm mostly looking for is this why, okay? This is the most important part. So like I said, don't state the obvious. The movie's about technology and so is our class. Like, how does this movie relate to our class? What are some of the big themes in the movie and how does that tie into some of the big themes we've talked about this semester? So I give you some questions here to sort of prime that. And then there are some other tips for how to do a movie review. So definitely read through this before you watch the movie. Okay, and if you've already watched the movie, read through this and you might have to go rewatch a movie, all right? And like I said, here's some examples from previous students, some different things that they've done. Here's the grade rubric. And so you definitely want to read through this, but each of the pages, I'll go to coded bias. Each of the pages gives a movie trailer, a link to where you can find it. Most of these are on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Most people have those these days, but a couple of them are on YouTube. AlphaGo is long. It's like an hour long. I guess it's not any longer than a regular movie. It's where a computer plays an ancient game. The AI plays an ancient game against a world champion. And you might think you know how it turns out, but it's super interesting to watch the dynamics there. So super interesting movies. It's going to be hard to pick one. You can watch more than one, but you only have to do a review on one of them. So that's the movie review roadmap. Gives you all that information. Now, where are you going to put it? The movie review forum, of course. And again, here's a link to all the movies. If you just jump here and watch the movie, you're not going to get what you need to do for the assignment. This is due next week. All of the people that submitted projects, I'm going to put them up for a vote. And for the most interesting, one that hit all the criteria. And the ones that get the most votes, between 1 and 3 of them, I will give extra credit to. So it's definitely worth putting a little bit of effort into your project. We're winding down here to the end. There's a quiz link, so you can do the quiz. There's signups for the next Zoom session for next week. We'll have both signups for next week. That's what we have on tap this week. Dive in, read the checklist, watch your movie. Don't wait till the end. Like, don't wait till Sunday morning to watch your movie. Decide what you're going to watch. You need some time to put a project together. There's not a whole lot of homework this week, okay? There's basically the movie review and signing up for Zoom, taking a quiz. That's our week. And oh yeah, and computer history, watching through all those slides. I think that'll be fun and interesting. I'm curious to see what catches your interest the most on the PK original slides there. Have a great week.